Broadcasting from the small business capital of America. This is WIIFM Milwaukee, an idea coach station.
Uniting the states of small business for the nation's largest mastermind. This is the Pat Miller Show, where we help small businesses, solopreneurs, and side hustlers one by one, live without a net. I'm your host, Pat Miller, the Idea Coach. Thanks for joining us today. Now, small business is lonely and hard, and together we're here to solve problems, capture opportunities, and celebrate your wins. It's your dream. Don't grow it alone. So thanks for helping me on my journey. You know, my mission is to help 1,000 small business owners this year, and you can help. So listen in to our guest today. And if you think of something I miss, which is likely, feel free to reach out to them online and share your thoughts and ideas. If you want to be on the show, hey, we can do that too. You can hear the podcast or submit your application to come on air and send in your wins to be part of our small business celebrations. It's super easy to do it. Just go to patmillershow.com and let us know how we can help. So with that, sit back, relax, grab your favorite beverage, and get ready to go as we kick off the show. So we have a few guests standing by, Terry and Sam and Alex, and we're grateful for their time. But I want to share one small business thought before we get going. And it's really about challenge. And it's really about pushing yourself to a point of being broken, which doesn't really get talked about very often. And I know it sounds kind of weird to bring up, but a mentor of mine challenged me the other day, and he said, "Who's asking you questions that you don't know the answer to?" I thought about it for a minute. I'm like, wow, okay, you just asked me a question that I don't know the answer to, but that's a terrific question. And if you are not getting asked questions that you don't know the answers to, or someone's not pointing out something that makes you think differently, maybe you need to level up the people that are around you and let you think a little bit bigger and more critically about what you're doing. So if you don't have a mentor or a partner or someone outside of your safe space that's pushing you, you're probably falling behind. And I'm not taking a shot, believe me. Finding mentors, it's really hard to do. But if you don't have a mentor in your life and you don't have a group of people around you that know more than you do, you're in the wrong room. That's the phrase, right? If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. So my challenge to you today is to really think about who's asking you tough questions, and are you really listening to what they have to say so you can grow the business. With that, hopefully that sets the tone for a creative and inspirational conversation. Let's welcome our first guest, Terry Kerr. Terry, thank you for coming on the show. Tell us who you are, what you do, and how we can help you today.
Thanks, Pat. My name is Terry Kerr. I am an executive coach and empowerment strategist with the Unstuck Duck Coaching. I help smart, competent women entrepreneurs to navigate the overwhelm of entrepreneurship so that they can create a business and a life that is both fulfilling and profitable. And I lost the third part of your question. So feel free to ask me that again.
Yeah, you bet. Well, it sounds like you're on a great mission. The question is simply, how can we help you today? What's going on?
Oh, awesome. I have that. So one of the things that I do, I have all the ideas. I'm like the squirrel master. It's just like shiny things all over the place. And I come up with all these great ideas and narrowing down exactly a business, what it is that I want to do. So what do I want to offer as a coach? So I have my one-on-one coaching, which is my 90 days from the muck to the magic. That's my introductory coaching package. But I want to create like a small business mastermind, a group program. And I've seen so many different models and I want to do all of them. So trying to figure out how to do the one that fits best for me and my business. How do I actually narrow that down?
I think the best way to do that is to get really clear on what success looks like. Someone with your networking ability and clarity on what you're trying to do with your mission needs to now figure out, when the group is up and running, what is it doing and why is it doing what it's doing? So if we can clarify what success looks like, then we can reverse engineer what the group looks like. So you mentioned the style of coaching that you do. Why would you have this mastermind program? And the right answer may be to make a pile of money. That's okay. I'm the biggest capitalist on the planet. No worries. Just like a safe space, right? Because some people would feel obligated to say, I want to change lives. Okay, I want to change lives too, but I want to have a Tesla someday. So I totally get it if you want to make some money with it. So let's talk about the group. What does success look like for the group? Why are you having it?
Well, what I'm looking for is to create a community where people don't feel like they're alone. So that they can have that community, that collaboration, that contribution, that opportunity to connect with like-minded people, and really people that you can rely on, that are going to be there for you when you need them. Not necessarily a support group, because I like what you said at the beginning of, if you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. I want to create that room. I want to create that room full of awesome people that can push each other, that you can be vulnerable enough to throw an idea out there, and that's, dumb. And I'm going to use air quotes for that. Because it's a safe place to be able to ask that question, and then have people be able to provide that contribution. And then it all works together, because everybody has that space. And it doesn't have to all be creative people. It can be people that are all in business. I mean, entrepreneurship doesn't have to be lonely and hard, like you said. It can be, a joint venture with people that think the same as you, or think differently than you, but can appreciate you and move you forward.
All right. So I like what you said there. So really, you're putting together teams of people, cohorts of people, where you're getting groups who are going to co-work together so they don't feel like they're alone, and then they can go tackle their business. So in your ideal world, to get them out of the muck to the magic, how big is that team? What do you think the functional size, the number of people you would want in a pod?
Well, I love the pod idea. And I would say probably 10 to 12 max.
Okay.
Because I feel like it gets watered down after that. But 10 to 12 also allows people to have an off month. Like, if it allows them to have some time when they don't show up, because that happens, and that's life.
All right. So you're talking about a 10 to 12 person team who are going to commit to work together for a certain period of time. So how long do you want them to work together? Is this an ongoing month to month forever, or is this a 6-month team and then you mix them up? What are you looking for?
I hadn't thought about the 6-month team and mix them up. That's a good idea too.
Okay.
I don't know. I was thinking a year, because I like to think in increments like that, but
Sure.
6 months actually, and then switching it up. I guess it depends on how engaged they are. That does not allow them to have an off month.
Right. So let's not worry about mixing them up just yet. Let's think if it was 12 people, 12 months, simple, easy peasy. Dozen people, dozen months, team of people, off they go. Last question, just to understand how you're going to put it together. Is this a group of diverse professionals, or are you going to go after, I want 12 creatives in a group, I want 12 financial professionals in a group, I want 12 solopreneurs in a group? How do you plan on mixing up the group?
I would say a diverse group, because there's so much power in that.
Okay.
There's power in that, an opportunity to connect with other people, and that some financial person may have a totally different side point of view than, say, a coach.
Okay. I love it. So if you were to put together the diversity dozen of the unstuck duck diversity dozen, or the unstuck duck flying V, is I know another phrase that you use, but basically it's 12 ducks in a row, and we're working together for 12 months. So then you can go out and try and recruit the 12 people that you want to co-work together for the next year. So really, you're asking people to step out and swim together for the next 12 months. And then you just go find your 12 people. Last question, the only thing that remains is, where's the price point on this? Is this a really expensive thing, or is this not an expensive thing?
And that's where I get stuck. That's where I'm stuck in the muck, is how much to charge for it. Because there's like $100 a month versus there's a $500 a month. Like, how much? I don't necessarily believe that the price point will determine the quality or the caliber of person that is in the group. It just means that these people are more willing to spend money.
No, it also means they'll be more committed to it. If it's $9 a month, they'll blow it off. If it's $99 a month, they won't blow it off. That doesn't mean you have to gouge anyone, but price can be associated with commitment as well. So it's not always a bad thing to charge a lot of money, but it sounds like, if I'm hearing you correctly, you don't want to gouge anybody. So if it was $99 a month for 12 people for a year, that's a $15,000 program. That's not bad work, especially when you can light up another dozen and then another dozen and another dozen and then mix them up at the end of the year if people want to do it. I think this program is fantastic. So what about your program do you still want to talk about? Are there parts of this that still aren't clear?
My clarity would be then, where do I find those people? Is it a marketing thing where I just get people to apply? Is it something where I go out and hand pick? And if so, where do I find them?
I think for your first group, you'd want to do it by invitation. I think if you went after a list of 50 people that you respected, that all had different backgrounds, and you did a personal invitation to them saying, "Hi, Sally, I'm putting together my initial flying V, dozen people, dozen months. Once you get in, you're committed to each other. I've always respected you. I think you'd be a great partner on this. I'm offering a founding members rate of X. And once I get 12 people, we're going to take off." And it's very simple and easy and direct like that. Because I think that power of you reaching out to someone individually, either with a phone call or an email saying, "I want you to be a founding member," that could get people's attention. That's how I would go about it.
I love that. I love that.
And for the record, that's how I went about building the Idea Collective. Is I made my list of about 100 people and I wanted the founding 50. And we didn't start the group until we got the founding 50. Fortunately, the Idea Collective members were so kick-ass, we got the founding 50 right away and we launched on time. So high five, Idea Collective members. But Terry, I think that's what I would recommend for you, is going after a dozen people for a dozen months, make it an affordable rate, get the first one on the board, because then you'll have 12 months to talk about how great your program is. And then you'll be able to rinse and repeat, because this sounds really scalable to me, because this one-to-many coaching model is a way that you can make some real money and you can grow the business, which sounds like an exciting opportunity. So big thanks to Terry for coming on the show today. And if you've got a question, something that you're curious about, a way that we can help you here on the Pat Miller Show, well, all you got to do is get on the list, and get on the list at patmillershow.com. We're looking for guests to come on the show, and we're looking for people to celebrate their wins. So if something really good happened to you in the business lately, we want you to tell us about it. Tell us the story behind us. Tell us what you overcame to accomplish it. All of those stories add up, and they help us keep going on those days when we're not feeling it. Because that's kind of the hard part when you run your own business. Oftentimes you're running it alone. So those inspirational stories go a long way. All right, so let's welcome our next guest. Alex is on the show. Alex, thanks for coming on today. Tell us who you are, what you do, and how we can help.
Hey, Pat, thanks for having me on the show. I'm Alex Pauls. My wife, Katya, and I, we own KP Design. We're marketing tech strategists and creatives. We have a digital design agency that offers entrepreneurs a full range of custom solutions that elevate their brand so they can make more money. So we do everything from branding to amazing websites to advertising and social media management. So since joining forces less than 2 years ago, I came aboard. Katya was having KP Design for about 18, 19 years. So I came on board about 2 years ago. Since then, we've doubled our business in 1 year, and we're on pace to double again this year. So as you can see, we are probably experiencing some serious growing pains. We've taken on a social media manager to help with some of our bandwidth issues. We have a bookkeeper now so that I don't mess around with invoicing. And we even have a high performance coach, Aaron Marcus, that's pushing us constantly outside of our comfort zones. So basically, I want to talk to you today about scaling and bandwidth problems. And if you have any good suggestions for, bang for my buck and things that could help right out the gate.
Well, first of all, congratulations on the success. I mean, how exciting is that? I heard you say you doubled, then you doubled again. Is that right?
Yes, we're on crazy pace right now. We are working from 4 a.m. to 11 p.m. every night.
So the scaling, the growth is exciting. The hours you're keeping is not. And the opportunity to contribute to your business that Aaron Marcus is working with is an honor, because Aaron is incredible. So I'm hoping to be additive to the things that Aaron is saying, not changing any direction here. So thinking about what you have, when you doubled again and then you doubled again, are you doubling revenue again and again, or client count again and again when you say doubling?
We are probably, that's a good question. We're probably quadrupling our what we're charging, and maybe doubling our client count.
Okay.
So we're starting to finally get paid what we're worth, and as we're growing.
All right. So you're seeing not only client increase, but you've done a good job of continuing to press your rates, because that's always the first emergency brake. When you've got too much work and not enough time, then the alarm bell's going off about, oh my gosh, are you underpriced? So you've been pushing your rate, which is incredible. So I do kind of have to ask, are you still comparable to others in your industry, or are you starting to get where you need to be with your rate?
I think that we are still under when it comes to a big agency. We have a lot less overhead, so we're way more competitive. When I started 2 years ago, we were basically almost free. So we're starting to get to where we need to be, and we're still very busy. The quality of the work that we're pumping out is, I would say, it's next level, and our clients are really seeing that, and we're getting really good. Like, we don't even have to advertise. We're just getting, word of mouth referrals, and it's been amazing. It's been an amazing journey.
So the growth is coming in from referrals, which is proof of concept, which is amazing. And just for clarity, when it comes to price, nobody cares about your overhead, and no one cares about your work product, because your price, like, if you're making 90% profit, but you're still underpriced, still nobody cares. You can keep on pushing your price. So the question is, if I can buy a website from you or a website from someone else, if you're less expensive than someone else, you have to keep on raising your rates. But getting back to the question, so that's the first thing that went off, is how are you doing with your rates? The second thing is, with all of this work that you have coming in, is it literally just something that you're sitting on a gold mine and you have to continue to scale and add personnel? Or are you taking on jobs that either you don't want to do or they're really hard to scale? Because time is another alarm bell. When you're working way longer than you want to be working, want to quote marks, want to be working, you may be taking on work that's really tough to fulfill. So what kind of work is making you stay that late and work that long?
I wouldn't blame that on our clients or our workload. I think it's, the fact that we're networking, the fact that we are, getting our voice out there. We're writing 2 books at the same time. We like to challenge ourselves. So we're not, we are doing everything but sitting back and taking it easy. My goal in the next 2 years is to be top 5 in Western Canada for agencies. So I have a big lofty goal, and I want to make it happen. And, basically we're going to keep raising our rates. And at the same time, we don't want to leave entrepreneurs behind that can't afford us either. We're steadily coming up with creative ways to help people right out of the box too. So we don't want to lose where we came from as we grow and scale. So we have some interesting challenges.
All right. So let's do an exercise that someone who's smart taught me. Let's work backwards. Okay. You and I are on the phone 5 years from now. You are a top 5 agency in Western Canada. What does the business look like then that it doesn't look like now? What's there then that you could start adding now? Because then we can build a roadmap to get you to where you want to go and address some of these scaling issues. So what does it look like then?
It looks like my wife would be overseeing a team of designers. I would be passing off my role to about 2 or 3 different people. And then I would be doing, and I learned this from a wise man named Pat Miller, that I would be taking the time to really spend that extra time talking with our clients, making sure everything is good, and doing the business development. I would be the owner, the guy that they look forward to hearing from, and I would be getting the feedback and passing it off to the people that are working underneath.
Okay.
us.
Okay. So what does the team look like now? Does she have a team? Do you have a team, or is it just you two?
It's just us 2 right now. Our partner, Mark, he's doing our social media management, which has been incredible. He's been just an amazing help. Mm-hmm. And I am looking currently for interns to do design and to do SEO for us. So it's kind of I'm not quite ready to hire permanent, but some contractors or some people that we can mentor, and if we can help them, that would actually be a great feeling too. I have a convention that I'm going to in the summer It's called MozCon, and I will be looking for some SEO strategists to work with in the future. So yeah, I have some chess pieces in place.
Yeah.
So.
And chess is great, but again, let's keep our eyes on the top 5 agency in Western Canada, right? You're not going to get there with interns. You could get there with contractors that turn into employees. So maybe you can take a half step by bringing in contractors up beneath you and your wife. Because if you're saying the way that you're going to continue to grow is to free yourself up to really love up and acquire new clients, and the way that she's going to grow is to have designers doing the busy work so she can do the bigger work. So how could you, in the next 5 months, not 5 years, add those critical pieces, even if they're contractors to start, even if it's 20 hours a week? Because the framework that I love, and again, mad respect to Erin, I'm sure that she's told you these things too. When you start acting how you're going to be when you're successful, you're going to become more successful faster. And I don't like hearing people say, we're going to get some interns. Interns, you got to teach them. And I love interns, but they're there for their benefit. Like, I want employees. I want team members. I can say, hey, do the thing by 4:00. And they go, yes, sir. Or yes, ma'am. You know what I mean? I want to see you get there faster.
Right. And I'm with you, because I'm starting to feel like there's a resistance down that path. I've been trying to get a hold of the college and I can't. So to me, maybe that's a sign, right? Maybe I should be actively looking for someone that could really help us right out the gate.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally agree with you.
Last thought I would share for you is, okay, if you bring in contractors, say you and your wife commit to a 90-day schedule of bringing on a couple of contractors, one for each of you, or better yet, you do the business analysis and say, if she had 2, that could free both of us up, wherever all the choke point might be. But you set aside the amount of money it would take for 90 days of their help. And you say, listen, the worst thing that happens is we bring in someone for 90 days and reassess. And then you can evaluate it after that. It's very low risk. Contractors are great because you can fire them anytime you feel like with no reason. There's no healthcare. There's no nothing. Well, you're in Canada. It's a wholly different thing. But you see what I'm saying. In the US, we got to worry about that.
Sure.
But then you can go to that. What is the worst thing that happens if we behave how we're going to behave 5 years from now? And then you can reevaluate. And if you're on such an aggressive growth path, how much faster could you and your wife go if you didn't have to worry about all the stuff you worry about today?
For sure. Exactly. No, what you're saying makes total sense. If we get clear on that intention, we get that horsepower right away and we'll be making more money. And then at least, and we'll be able to pay, like, those people will pay for themselves instantly. So yeah, it makes total sense.
You won't be working till 11:00 at night, and you'll be enjoying it more, and your work will be better because you won't be up at all hours of the day trying to get everything done.
For sure. Yeah.
All
no,
right.
I mean, and the thing is I don't complain at all. Like, it's our business and I do love it, but it is not sustainable.
No, it's not sustainable, and you're actually hurting yourself. You're actually harming yourself working the way that you are right now. You owe it to your clients and to your relationship, which I'm sure my wife is in a small business too. When we're both busy, things aren't great. I totally get it. Like, you owe it to each other. If that's where you want to go, I would start acting like that now. And here's what I hope you'll do is that you'll think about it, and then you'll take action on it. And then you'll call back in a couple of months and say, hey, guess what? We doubled again, which would be super, super exciting. Alex, thank you so much for calling in from Canada, which is super cool. And if you've not checked out their agency, they do amazing work. It was really a pleasure to talk today. All right, so this is the Pat Miller Show. We're helping small business owners one by one, live without a net. And it's kind of like a test. We're doing it live today on all of the socials on the Idea Coach Network. Because why not? We had tried it on Clubhouse for a minute. Now we're doing it live on social media. And if you're enjoying the show and you want to be on the show, hit up patmillershow.com and you can get some free laser coaching on the air. We're also looking for those small business success stories. So Alex is going to get back to us here in a couple of months with how they've doubled again, which is going to be super great. All right, so we've got time for one more caller today. Sam is on the show. Sam, thanks for coming on. Tell us who you are, what you do, and how we can help you today.
I am Sam Shaw. I am actually launching a store on a third-party marketplace to sell interior decor. My question is, where should I focus my efforts? Do I focus on like a Walmart, or we're doing interior decor, so it's more of a artsy, design type thing. It's not daily staple good like a toothbrush. So, but where would be the best effort spent on a Walmart type store or on a smaller boutique type marketplace like Etsy?
All right, so let's talk about what do you mean? What do you mean like a Walmart type store versus an Etsy? Just so we're all on the same page. What do you mean by that?
Okay, Walmart is a huge marketplace with a lot of eyeballs, a lot of traffic, but Walmart sells everything. If you go to Etsy, it's a more boutique marketplace, and the decor or the products that are listed on Etsy are very similar to what I would be putting up. So you're in the space, you're selling in the same space of what our market is, right? So you're selling the same type of products, but it's a boutique, so it's not going to have the same level of eyeballs as, say, a Walmart is.
Okay. So it's really you're trying to choose what goes up in the store and how niche you're going to be. Is that really what you're trying to ask?
I'm trying to ask, where should I focus my first efforts? Should I focus on a boutique where it's very small, but it's more relevant to what my market is? Or should I start with a big marketplace like Walmart, where you're going to have a lot of eyeballs, but you could get lost because it is so big?
No, I hear what you're saying there. I'm always a believer of trying to find any sort of real estate with your primary customer. I'm always in favor of being in a boutique kind of situation where you're looking at who's my best customer, what do they want, and running for office on those things. You can always add product lines and expand in adjacent target markets and adjacent opportunities, but putting up everything simply because there's a lot of eyeballs, that's a pretty dangerous game. Just the other day, we're driving down the street and my kid says, "Hey, what's that store over there that's closed?" I said, "That's a department store. They're not a thing as much anymore as they used to be." So I would think that you'd want to be more of a boutique centered organization and go about it that way. And you have a pretty clear idea, right, about who your boutique customers might be. Is there a certain audience that you'd want to create that you could go after?
Sure. I'm looking for people who want to bring style into whatever interior space they are, whether they want to, as people start working as people have been working from home, maybe they want to make their home office a lot nicer than it already is, than their bedroom or whatever. But so just people want to make their new space better, more nicer, more enjoyable to be in. So so that's my target client. I'm no longer looking at huge businesses. I'm looking at, everybody who's working from home is going to have their own personal space that they want to make better, not this huge office space or what have you.
Yeah, and it's maybe how you deploy it is even more important than how you build it. And if Alex was on the air, I'm sure he could guide you on this, that you could have a domain targeting florists, showing everything that florists are looking for, and a domain targeting home office, and a domain targeting wedding planners, but they all come into the same infrastructure. Maybe they all have landing pages. So when you're doing your digital advertising and you're out there reaching just those customers in a boutique fashion, they could all come back to the mothership, but you're not marketing the mothership because, again, department store, nobody cares. But if you go out and run for office against florists saying whatfloristneed.com, and then they come to the landing page with all of their goodies, maybe that's just one section of an overall web strategy, because I would imagine that would be the way you'd deploy it.
Sure. Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
It's my pleasure, man. Thanks for the question, and good luck to you as you get ready to deploy this project, because I know it's something you've been working really hard on. And sometimes it's that simple where it's just like, Sam knew what to do. It was just, okay, let's talk it out a little bit. And when you talk it out, you realize, oh yeah, I do know what to do. And now he can go make the thing happen. The other fun thing about a show like today is that you can kind of see a world where Terry is collaborating with Alex, is collaborating with Sam. I love when those kinds of shows happen. So by my count, we were helping 3 different businesses today, and maybe you got something out of it as well. We'll add them to the tally on my mission to help 1,000 small businesses in 2021. And I hope you picked up something along the way. If you want to come on and experience support like this each and every day, you might want to check out the Idea Collective for small business owners. It's a collaboration community where we are working together, getting answers and encouragement every single day. This group is working together to help you grow. You can find information on the community and you can become a guest on this show by visiting patmillerideacoach.com. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm your host, Pat Miller, the Idea Coach, here to help you on your small business journey. It's your dream. Don't grow it alone.